Hi and good morning. Welcome back. Today is Thursday. I am Christina Story and I'm with Diego Martinez, who is running for governor for 2022. Thank you guys for bearing with Diego last week as I was not here. I'm here again, so hello. I want to talk and thank everybody who showed up last Sunday as we were in Sacramento at the state capitol. It was a good turnout. For those who were not there, you guys can check out the video on our Facebook page after our live and go see Diego talk and speak. We were raising awareness for school closures, which we will get into in our talk later on. So Diego, how did you feel about last Sunday? What did you think?
I want to thank everybody who went out, show your support. Thank you very much. We had a very good, peaceful turnout, which is always important to have a really peaceful turnout when you do these things, especially at the state capitol. Matt Nelson was there. Chris Biss was there also. So we had some different speakers. It was a good time. Once again, I want to thank everybody who showed up and show your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Don't forget to look at our YouTube channel. And we're also on Twitter and
Instagram. So for those, we'll remind you at the end too. You guys can always look him up. It's Diego Martinez for Governor 2022. You guys can check out the Facebook page. There's links in there, also on the website. There's the other links to all the social media platforms. So let's go ahead and kind of move on. We have a few things to discuss today, and they're pretty in depth. The first thing is the prisons. So our current governor has decided, because of coronavirus, that he wanted to release 8,000 inmates from prison and out into our community. And let's not forget, these are criminals who committed a crime. Now, regardless of what their crime is, they're now released into the world for us because of coronavirus. That's his excuse. And how do you feel about this? What are your thoughts?
well, Christina, that's a very interesting topic. I believe that if any of these gentlemen, they're already isolated.
Correct.
So why can't we leave them where they're at and actually confine them and make sure that they're healthy before we release them? So are we releasing inmates with the coronavirus? Are we releasing them because they think they can get the coronavirus? I mean, when you go into a jail or a prison, it's usually you're basically by yourself in a lot of aspects of it. So quarantining somebody, and that should be easier than letting them out on the streets if they're already contagious. Because now how many more people are they going to go visit? How many more people are they going to go see? We have a huge, huge homeless problem going on here in California as it is. Our governor has bought out motels for these people to be able to stay there, but you took people's livelihood away. So you're worried about people contagion it because they're homeless, so you put them in a hotel where they can be quarantined, but we're releasing prisoners out instead of putting them in quarantine before they're released and making sure that they're healthy enough to come out. What's a better place to put them in quarantine than where they're at already? Because they're around their surroundings, they're around, when they tell you to quarantine, you're supposed to quarantine with your family, yourself, and be at an isolation for a while, right?
Well, not only that, but you're also releasing inmates on whether they're on probation or not, and we're already short on jobs. Our citizens that already aren't in prison are jobless and on unemployment, and now you're releasing more inmates from prison with no job lined up. So what are they going to go do? Go back to old habits? Are they going to go become homeless, which creates that homeless problem even more?
Well, Christina, that's a very interesting topic because it all goes kind of hand in hand. You talked about the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate's going up because our governor now has shut us back down. It's funny how Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, big supermarkets can be open, yet your small businesses are the ones that are shutting down. Corona-19 must be really, really focused on small businesses because that's what keeps hurting us. They keep shutting us down. There was a new article released where the governor now, if you're going to go to a restaurant and you want an alcohol beverage, there's a menu that you have to order from. Otherwise, you can't get an alcohol beverage. So if you're going to go in and you've had a long day and you're not very hungry, but you want to have an alcohol beverage, and let's say that you stop by and you want to buy yourself a quesadilla. Well, it's considered an appetizer. That's not considered a meal by our governor's standard. So you can't get an alcohol beverage with that. So you got to have a full meal for a restaurant or a bar to be able to serve you an alcohol beverage. How much longer are we going to stand here and let our governor keep destroying our futures, our jobs, our economy? We're in the middle of a revolution, and I keep saying that. We're either going to vote for communism, capitalism, or socialism, because that's in the middle of where we're at right now. November's election has never been so crucial to the United States. But further than that, we're looking at 2022 or sooner if the recall happens.
Let's hope sooner. I think we'll
That
use that.
we have got to start changing this, because that's what we're doing right now. If you like things the way they are, if you like to be shut down, if you rather stay at home than go to work, then keep voting the way you're voting. If you're ready for change, if you're ready to go back to work, to your best interest at heart, to be able to prosper, to be able to grow, to be able to be free, because our freedoms are getting taken away from us,
They are.
then you really need to take a look at every candidate and look at what's best for California in 2022. But right now in November, we really have to support the people that are about capitalism, Second Amendment rights, who are constitutionalists, who are here to help us grow. Because we are getting our freedom taken away little by little every single month, every single year that somebody else gets elected into office. So unfortunately, like you said, these people are getting released with no job, no place to go. What's going to happen? They should be quarantined where they're at. They should be safe to come out back in public. We need to open up our small businesses and get our economy going again. The easiest way to get out of debt is to allow us to go back to work and allow us to make some of that money and that tax revenue coming back in and allow people to grow. I mean, this is insane what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on, the second thing we want to talk about is school closures, and this is a very, very big topic. One, most of all the schools around our state are all being closed, and they're keeping the distance learning of online education. Campuses are closed. I know here in our county, no decision has been made yet, and they won't have that until sometime in August. Right now, there's talk of social distancing, campuses closed, off and on days, or majority is online. Sacramento, Roseville, all those places up north, they're all closed. And that was what we also talked about on Sunday when we were down in the state capitol raising awareness for the state closures. Some families have special needs children who require different teaching methods and interventions that online just doesn't cut it. You know, families are having to almost like one family member is probably having to put career on the back burner to stay home so their child can get the education online. I know personally for my family, we've had to take a step back and look at, okay, well, her school's closed. How are we going to do this? And how are we going to make her learning a priority when we also have other children who require more of your time? You know, my career's had to take a back seat to be home with the kids. So what are your thoughts on this school closure and feelings on how to make things better and right?
Well, let's start with this. Teachers are an essential. Everybody who's an educator is essential.
Correct.
Charter schools are essential, private schools are essential, public schools are essential. They're essential for our future, our kids' future. There have been studies that show that kids are going backwards instead of forward by online training.
Agreed.
Some kids do really well. They're very well focused on the online training. They know what's going on. Other kids aren't. So to me, the coronavirus shows that it's less susceptible to younger kids or younger adults. If you have healthy teachers who feel that they could go back and teach in a setting, we should put some safeguards for everybody, but our kids should be allowed to go back to school, should be allowed to be in front of an instructor
Yes.
who is giving them 100%. But we also need to look at the education of our state right now and focus on getting those people the money that they need to be able to do a better job and have the right tools that they need for better academics here in the state, because we need that. But our teachers are very essential to us right now. They're probably the most important thing right now that we're losing because that's our future that we're losing. Our kids are our future. All these kids are going to school right now. Yeah. They're the future of the state. They're the future of this country. And how is it going to affect them to not be able to go back to school for another year, another 6 months?
Here's my question on this too, and maybe you can enlighten this or your thoughts on this. So preschools and daycares have remained open during this whole entire time, having up to 14 kids. Now, kids are walking petri dishes, okay? And you have one sole adult taking care of 14 kids. That's either 12 to 14. And then you have schools who can't even have classrooms where they can spread out desks. Now, how does that make sense? Because to me, I feel like that just doesn't. You have daycares, you have preschools, you can have all these little kids go in, they remain open, and then you have schools where you have a little more control to separate them out, and those are closed. And that's one adult to many.
Well, Christina, it doesn't make sense. I said it before when we looked at the closure of schools last year. Was it necessary? It may have been for the first couple of weeks till we figured out, but every senior, if you didn't have your freshmen, juniors, and sophomores at school, but they could have opened up classrooms, separated the seniors, and allowed the seniors to actually finish their school.
Yeah.
The same thing with their graduation. Most graduations were done outside in a football field.
Yeah, I remember.
So you could have spread out and maybe only had immediate family, mom and dad only, showing up to these kids' graduation. But we have taken that away from the class of 2020, and that wasn't fair to them.
No.
We have allowed a virus, which is deadly, which has caused some damage. But we have allowed that to stop our living. We have allowed that to stop our economy. We have allowed that to stop our lives. When does this come to an end? That we understand there's a virus out there, that we understand we have to work through it, but it cannot keep stopping. You look at other states, they're opening up. They're fully opened. Yet here in California, we're going backwards. We're going back to closing. We're going back to you can't go to the gym. They want a hairstylist to be outside working on people. How can you go outside? Now, if you're a barber, I know you could go outside, you could get your clippers, you could get your chair out there and cut some hair outside. But for these women that go out to beauty salons, you're almost asking for the impossible.
Yeah.
All the materials, all the stuff. How is that even sanitized?
It's not. You have more control. And I know for cosmetologists and estheticians, they go through extensive training and education on how to properly sanitize, disinfect, all of their chemicals and their tools. They have more control inside a salon than they do outside on the sidewalk where somebody just spit or has dirt and mud and bacteria all on their shoes walking right next to you. Heck, somebody can walk by you and sneeze, and those particles come right across you more than they would in the salon.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So like I said, we're in the middle of a revolution.
Yes.
And it is time for Californians to actually step up and make a decision. It's not about if you're a Democrat, it's not about if you're a Republican or whatever your party preference might be. It's about what's best for the future of the state. Mm-hmm. Where are we headed? Are we concerned about this virus? Yes, we are. Who is it? Are we nervous about it? Yes. Can we work around it? Of course we can. But it takes somebody who wants to work around it. We have legislation for a reason. No one person should have the full control like our governor's trying to right now. States, counties should never be trying to sue our governor for they're doing something wrong, because that's why we have legislation and the court systems. It should be honored. If the legislation can't be in Sacramento, we can Zoom the meetings, we can talk. There's different ways of doing it, but to allow one person to have full control isn't right. It was never in the Constitution to be able to do that, and we are breaking our constitutional rights right now with everything that's going on. So it is time for Californians to come together and unite, and let's go in the same direction. Let's go back to capitalism. Let's go back to freedom. Let's go back to being united. Forget your party lines. Let's unite for the better future.
I agree. I agree. More. I saw that you had posted on Facebook, on your social media, that you had talked about props. I want to pull that up, and I kind of want us to go through that, and I want to touch base on some of them. This gives us all a better understanding and explanation of some of them.
We have all the props online.
Yes.
So that people can make up their own decisions. Those are my thoughts and how I see them. Everybody sees them a little bit different. If we go down, and I'll start with Prop 25 right now.
Which was Prop 10.
It used to be Prop 10. Now they call it Prop 25. We need to vote a no.
And what Prop 25 is, it is a no resistance cash bail before criminals can leave a jail, protect the community. This is a referendum, a yes, a vote, keeps the no cash bail. This is one of those yes means no. Explain this.
Okay, so what that means is Governor Brown, when he was in office, he signed a legislation to say there will no longer be any more cash bail.
Got it, okay.
The bail industry put a stop to it and put it on the ballot for November.
Okay.
A no means that no, we don't want that law to continue. So it needs to be a no. If you vote yes, everything that happened during Corona, it will continue. So basically they'll cite and release offenders without no monetary and with nothing, no skin in the game per se. And the taxpayers have to come up with, basically they're going to tax us again for $1 billion a year is what it'll cost for the courts to do the services that right now is costing the taxpayers zero money. So you're going to get violated twice. First, when they committed the crime, and second, because you got to pay for the services for them to go commit the crime with somebody else. So it's a no on Prop 25. We get cash bail back, no money out of taxpayers' money. We move live along. Not only that, that is going to cancel out. This is the first government agency that I can remember that all they're doing is destroying people's jobs. You're going to take 10,000 people out of work for changing something that has really no bearings. Their standards was that low-income people couldn't afford bail, and that's why they were doing it. That is technically not true. A lot of people can afford bail if they want to. But the services that they're trying to offer and make us pay more money for are already being offered by the courts. A judge can release somebody. Probation can put an ankle monitor on them. Even though that's unconstitutional, that they put an ankle monitor on you before you've been proven guilty of a crime. So basically they say you're guilty. So we're going to put an ankle monitor on you so we can monitor that you come back to court because you're guilty. So it's unconstitutional to put an ankle monitor on somebody without them being justified and saying that they're guilty. It'll get thrown out. A good lawyer will get that thrown out every time. So then you're going to have just people roaming the streets.
Got it. Another one is Prop 22, and this one you suggested to vote yes on. And this repeals a portion of the AB 5, a good start back on the road to free the workers. Elaborate on that one.
Well, AB 5, you have to vote yes, even though a yes is like a no.
Okay.
And we have got to get that back to where Uber drivers can go back to work. Subcontractors can go back to work. If AB 5 passes, all those people lose their jobs. Now they have to become an employee. If they become an employee, a lot of places won't be able to employ them because now we have employment taxes. It'll raise the cost of doing business. We have got to lower the cost of doing business so more people can come and do business. I was at the Capitol. I want to touch on this real quick. And a young lady talked to me and she said, what about small businesses? What about our tax breaks? Why are we not getting any tax breaks? Under 500 employees, we're not really getting helped out any. Well, small businesses are the foundation of our economy. With that being said, we need them to be in business. To be able to give small businesses the big cuts that they need to stay afloat, AB 5 works. Because then you can get a subcontractor to come in, do the job, you pay them on a 1099 scale, they move on, it saves you a little bit of taxes. The other way to do it is bringing big corporations back into California, so we got to cut some of the red tape, we have got to cut some of the taxes for them to want to come back. We have to open California up for business, so other businesses will want to come back, manufacturing business will want to come back to California, which that increases, we will gain more taxes, because we're not getting any now from them, and we could take some of those gains and take the bearing off the middle class, the middle businesses. And that's the idea, is to bring more manufacturing business back in here so they'll pay taxes and we can relieve the small businesses on some of the stuff that we're taxing them to death. we're either closing them out of business or we're going to tax them out of business. Neither one of them makes sense.
No, neither one of them help anybody.
Right.
Okay. So moving on to Prop 20, and this one is another one that Diego suggests to vote yes on. And this one rolls back some of the previously passed pro-criminal measures. Also good and not great. So what do you think is on Prop 20?
You have to actually take we'd be here all day to try to explain Prop 20.
Okay.
You'd want to take a little bit look. Some of Prop 20 is exactly what's going on right now, where inmates are getting released before their time is ready. They want to shut down some of the prisons, which will hurt us in the long run, not help us. I understand that we're in a deficit and we have to figure out where to cut corners, but public safety, it's never where you cut corners at. Public safety is what we're here for. So when you look at this prop, do me a favor, take a look at it, go read it, go in depth. What I did on Facebook was basically did an outline so you're a little bit more informed. But the reality is all these props, if you have time, take a better look in depth of what they have to say, and you either agree or you disagree with what I'm putting on here. But I just put my opinion, and that's what it is.
So the last one I want to touch base on, this will be the last one we go, and then like Diego said, you guys can go back and do your own research, look in depth more, and then let us know what you guys think on with your own thoughts too. The last one to touch base on is Prop 18. Vote no, you said. This allows kids to vote before they're 18. This is unconstitutional. And explain why you feel
It's actually unconstitutional. That's the first portion of this. If you're a constitutionalist, if you believe in the Constitution of the United States, that is unconstitutional. That's your first step. Your second step, we don't even allow our kids to drive at 16 anymore. We don't allow them to drink at 18. We don't even allow them to own a gun till they're 21.
Can't buy tobacco.
Can't buy tobacco. But we're saying that you are mature enough to make decisions on how the country's going to be ran.
Well, most kids, even before 18, don't even understand what party line they even want. They don't really look in depth or care too much either.
So you're asking these kids who don't have a driver's license yet, haven't finished hitting puberty, to make a intelligent decision about where our country and our state's going. That doesn't make sense to me. Yet you don't consider them an adult till 18. So you want them to make adult decisions at 16, but they don't get none of the adult benefits? There's something wrong with that whole system right there. I mean, most of us have 16-year-olds who have a job, are going out there trying to do everything right, study right, but they don't understand what the politics of the world are. And I stand firm on that. It's a no. Let these kids grow up. Let them understand the world. You have people who are adults that don't understand politics and haven't even voted because they don't understand them. Yet you're asking a 16-year-old to do it. That doesn't make sense.
No, agreed. Well, all right, so that again is Diego's suggestions and his thoughts on those props. You can check this out again on Facebook, but again, do your own research, look in depth yourself, and then let us know what you guys think. That's all we have for today. Don't forget to follow and like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and check out the YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys here back next Thursday. All right.
Christina, thank you, and thank everybody out there. Again, thank you for your support of the Capitol last week. We'll see you guys again there this Saturday, and we'll also be there August 1st. Don't forget to check us out. If you like the page, follow, like, and share it. Let all your friends know. Thank you for your support. Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of 2022. Thank you.